So this is the box from Mangoal. It's a nicely packaged box. Let's open it up and see what's inside. So if we push the outer sleeve off and then we open up the nice box, inside you have your instruction manuals as well as all the equipment to get it installed into the car. Let's dive into what's actually within the box. In the box, you get some user guides as well as a user manual that explains how to install and how to use the product. You get a fitting tool that comes in extremely handy and some cables, as well as a massive 128 gigabyte SD card. You get the main front camera included that has all of the cabling lovely and labeled up for you, so it makes it very easy for plugging things in later on. Lastly, in the box, they also sent me out a rear camera. So to summarize, you get the main front camera, the rear camera, all the cables lovely and labeled up, a massive SD card, a fitting tool, as well as all the user guides. Okay, so now we're actually inside my Audi TT and we're going to fit this front dash cam, and it goes behind the rear view mirror. So to get it fitted, we actually have to remove all of this kind of housing that goes around the outside that hides all the rain sensors, etc. And we can hopefully plug it into the power supply that's behind there so that this camera has power all the time without having to have any cables trailing down. So in order to do that, I have actually already loosened this housing. So if I just give it a little pull, this bit comes off nice and easy. They actually gave a tool within the kit, this kind of orange tool that works really well for helping to get that off. Had to give it a little bit more of a pull than I like, because to actually get the clips to undo, but give it enough of a pull and it does come undone. Now to make this job easier, normally because I am 6'3", fitting in this car, I have to have it on the lowest seat setting possible. But that makes it awkward when I'm trying to reach up to get up here. So what I'm going to do is pump up to the top, and I'll show you why I don't normally have it this high. You can tell why I don't. I'd be like, this is how I'd be driving if I had it on the higher setting. So yeah, but that does help me reach all the bits behind here. So we remove this first housing where my hand is, my left hand. And what we're going to do now is remove this next housing using that orange tool again to help us out here. Okay, this next bit wasn't actually too bad to come out. What I realised is there's little clips just here. These are on either side, and that's what's actually holding it in. Oh, there you go, with a bit of force, it does come out. You sometimes just have to give these things a little bit more force than you want to. I mean, if I'm honest, it doesn't look like there's much back there. I think just... There we go. Looks like there's somewhere where a cable should go, but then I can't see a cable. So as you saw in the last clip, I don't actually have a rain sensor on the car. I called up Audi and found out that, yep, this model doesn't have a rain sensor. Bit odd, but it's not a problem for this dash cam, as we can actually have different ways of powering it. They offer the solution of powering it via the fuse box, which has a ground wire as well as 2 other leads for continuous power and for only when the ignition is on. That means you can have like power while it's parked, and then it can have like a parking monitor on it, and it comes with literally any kind of shape, size fuse that you need, as well as having a fuse puller and a tool I'm definitely going to keep because this could come in handy. The other solution they offer for powering the dash cam is actually through the OBD port. Now that's the option I'm going to go with because I think it's going to be the easiest for me to get set up. All I have to do is pull off this side housing here, and then I can basically wire it down into the OBD port, which is just down in the driver's side. Let's get this popped off and then we can see what we're working with. So using the handy orange tool they provided, we should be able to there we go. There we go. I think that is it now. There we go. And that is the side piece off. Might be kind of hard to see, but down in there is the back of the OBD port. But it's also a place in which we can just wire the cables down and through, so they're all hidden. So they'll come out the side here, go behind this black plastic and up the rubber seal up to the dash cam. That's the plan anyway. So this black plastic should just pop off. It's mostly come off. There we go. This is the long cable. It's really nice and long. It's not going to run out of wire. I've got the plug for the OBD port literally right here, and the other cable. So I think I've got a way of actually making sure none of the cables are showing, and then it looks proper OEM plus, which is the look we're going for. This is the power lead that's going to be plugged into the back of the new dash cam. And I've managed to wire it up through where all these cables come through. Whether the camera can pick this up or not, but it's all being tucked in behind here the whole way. And then as you can see, I've just got to keep pushing it underneath the whole way. It will come around to this edge, and then we can get all of this tucked in all the way down through there and to the OBD port. So I'm going to get all that wired and then come back once I've got that done. It should be a fairly easy job, fingers crossed. Right, I'll be back once I got that done. So by working backwards from where the camera is going to be, what it means is all the excess is now at this end, which is much, much easier to actually try and tidy away and hide in where there's lots of space. All the excess cable that's here is easy. It just literally just goes down into that gap without any worries. So let's get the side casings back on. We've got this one first. Let's see if we get down here. And then we'll pull the rubber out so it's back on top. Like that. The nice TT side panel. Let's go back on. And once it's on, it's on. There you go. It gets plugged in at the OBD port, literally there, and it's really, really small, so it doesn't stick out or anything. That goes behind all of here, across here, through the rubber trim, up to about here. Now, if I show you, there is the tiniest little bit of cable there. But if I didn't tell you, you literally would never know. And then that goes all the way across and sticks out just here. So with the cable now dangling from just up there, it should perfectly slot into the power cable from the main camera. So this is the old casing here, and this is basically the identical piece. And so this goes over the top instead, and this obviously has the camera inside. There we go, look at that. It literally just clicks into place. I managed to feed the wires through where the rain sensor wire would normally go. So all the wires are now tucked up and away, and I've actually managed to plug it in to the one I had dangling down. So this is now powering the camera. As you can hear, it's just turned on. That is all perfect. What I need to now do, now that it's kind of all clipped in nicely here, is there's another bit of housing that goes around the back, flips around this way so the clips kind of face upwards like that. You can see how those clips go in, and I should be able to do this one-handed, literally just like that, clips in really nicely, and the cables are now all tucked behind it. This goes this way round, where the rounded bit obviously matches with the rounded part on there, and it should just be as simple as clicking it into place. That was so easy. If you now look at it, that is tiny. You're me sat here in the driver's seat. You literally can't even see it. So when you look from the outside, you see it obviously sticks out a tiny bit further, but when you're just looking at it, you can't even tell. Okay, with the seat back in a position that I can actually sit in now. The whole reason this dash cam is so good is there are no cables showing. There's literally nothing. And no matter what kind of power situation you have, whether you do have a rain sensor, which I wish I had, or if you've got your OBD port, every car has an OBD port pretty much. And if you don't have one of those, you definitely still have a fuse box. And so you can get it wired in basically any way that fits your needs the best. So it is honestly so good to have the cables nice and tidy. No cables dangling. It looks OEM. It looks like this is what it should have come out like the factory. It's hit the nail on the head. It is such a perfect dash cam for being that OEM plus look. They do offer obviously just the front dash cam as a package, as well as a package which includes the rear camera. So whatever your needs are, whatever you want, they've got you covered. So the rear camera can actually be separated from the cable that needs to attach it to the main camera. That is an extremely large amount of cabling. Gonna have to find a way of hiding that somewhere or another. But obviously each car has different lengths, so having the extra length is useful depending on how you're gonna wire it basically. So if I take this end, plug it in. Now, before we do anything else, what I'm gonna do is actually just test that the rear camera is working as it should. So it is being powered because there's a blue light on it which is showing it's powered. You can see I can switch to the back camera, which obviously is currently just blacked out because there is this cover covering it. So if I just peel that off, and there you go. And then you should now also be able to see me through it. Okay, so it's a little bit fiddly, but I did manage to get the rear camera all cabled in, and it looks pretty good. So obviously currently this is all exposed, and instead of going the same way, I went the opposite way so there was more room. Went all the way along here. I went down and under here, and it's gone along the whole way of the window. Now most of the excess is actually stored in just behind here, and then it comes out just here. The only bit of loose cabling is this bit here, and that is purely because when the boot opens it needs a bit of slack to pull up. Now you'll probably see it in the background there, that kind of drooping cable. there definitely is a way to make sure that it's kind of like tucked up, but can still also provide the slack. I will have to probably order some kind of cable tie solution for that holds it, but still gives it slack. If you can think of something, let me know down in the comments, but that is not a fault of the product, just my cable management skills. But I think that is looking pretty good. We now have the camera for the front and the rear installed. So when I go onto the app, I can flip between the forward and rear camera. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to install the app and check out all the features that come with this dash cam. Right, let's check out this app. So it's now recording on that front dash cam. If I want to take a picture, yeah, there you go, it's saved a capture, and that can then be saved directly to my phone. So if I pause the recording, so the recording stopped, and then I can actually click on these videos and I could download these directly to my phone's photo album. You can change the loop duration, change the resolution, there's loads of different things, have the time watermark, etc, etc. One of the cool things there is time-lapse recording duration. At the moment it's off. Set the parking monitor time, turn the engine off, so when the engine actually gets turned off, what it can do is it can continue to run for 12 hours, 24 or 48 hours. Let's say I put it on for 12 hours. When I park it up at night, it will record the whole way through the night in case there's anyone that tries to maybe steal it, or if it gets bumped into, if it's parked on the road, it can cover that as well. So that's a really cool feature of this. But that is basically the app in its entirety. You don't really need to use the app very often. You basically only ever need to go on here if you've obviously been in an accident or just want to get the footage off of the camera. And as it's shown in the app, it's a very easy process to do that. What I'm going to do now is actually just take the car for a quick spin and show you exactly what the 4K footage looks like. I'm going to pull it straight off of the camera and put it onto the screen so that you guys can get an idea of what it would look like. So overall, I'm really impressed with the dash cam, but hopefully you've enjoyed, and maybe this is a purchase that you think you're going to make. If that is the case, there is a link down in the description for you to check out the camera yourself and see if there's one that fits your car. If there is one, I definitely recommend getting one because they are like that OEM plus look, and it's just so much better than any other dash cam I've seen on the market. But that is going to be it for this video. If you did enjoy, please give it a like and subscribe. Follow along for more videos on this car. But that's it for now. I will catch you in the next one.